All right, thank you so much, Rama, DJ
Oh,
Spitfire.
mm, yeah.
Hopefully, you guys enjoyed coming to i.W.A.I.T. It was a pleasure to have both of you here.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, it was awesome.
All right. So, for those who have not been to an i.W.A.I.T. before, i.W.A.I.T. is my idea of trying to share the spotlight and the stage with other DJs and allow you to get to know us a little better of what makes us tick, what got us into the business, any advice I can give to new DJs starting off. So, starting off, let's go in the order of the DJs that were on the lineup. Hey, Brad. Spitfire. How long you been DJing for?
Yeah. So I've been DJing for about a year now. Yeah, about a year.
Hmm. Okay. And then how about you? This is your captain, also known as Trauma.
Yes. I've been DJing for around 5 to 6 years, something like that. Yeah. Yes.
Nice. So you said you've been DJing for about a year, Spitfire. What got you inspired? Was it virality like most of us seem to be? Or was it something different?
I think I think it definitely was the Ferality influence because I remember I just remember seeing the dance floor at Reality 2000 and I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is the coolest thing ever. And I just kind of had I kind of had that vision of just sort of being on stage for like a huge crowd and you know here we are. But the whole DJing thing, it kind of goes back. I think I want to say like early 2019 because that's when I started to have thoughts on it. But it just never really materialized until now.
Nice. And then you said about 6 years. What got you started at DJing?
Oh gosh. So when I was a lot younger, I started listening to Daft Punk, and I loved their music so much, and that's what got me into EDM. And a couple of years after that, someone suggested to me Zomboy and dubstep, and the Zomboy, I watched his tour videos and stuff and all of that, and it was just such a big inspiration just watching him DJ in front of these big crowds and stuff. And yeah, that's what honestly got me to start DJing with Zomboy. He's my inspiration. I also have his logo on my Protogen too.
Nice.
Big inspiration.
Nice. I've actually heard some of his songs. He's really, really a very fun DJ and this producer. So you started DJing a year ago, 6 years ago. What did you start off in DJing with?
So I started off on a Tractor S2 Mark III, and that was the controller that a few people were recommending me because I was asking around, and they said, maybe you should start off with Tractor. And so far, I've been enjoying it. It is a pain sometimes to get songs lined up together, but eventually it does kind of work if once you practice it enough and you know which songs that you're going to use, then it becomes a bit easier.
Definitely. How about you? What did you start off with? Did you start off with vinyl or like the early CDJs where you actually had to put CDs in?
I actually started off with virtual DJ with mouse and keyboard. And I eventually got a Newmark Mixtrack Platinum from my dad, and the story goes on from there. I started making little mixes for myself, and I actually didn't start DJing for like a crowd until like last year. I just been DJing for myself, just for fun, and then, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
What did you start off DJing with, or is my brain? Oh, you said Tractor.
Wait.
Which? Yeah. So I'm guessing you're using Tractor, or are you using any other?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, I've been using Tractor this whole time.
Oh, nice. And are you still using Virtual DJ? And are you using a deck?
I'm using Serato, and I'm still using the same Newmark Platinum.
Nice.
Yes.
At least you upgraded from
Yes.
the keyboard and mouse, which there's nothing wrong about DJing with the keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
It just makes it a lot harder. You can't
Oh, yeah.
you can't do a fader and try to adjust the bass at the same time. Now, let's see. What advice would you give to a new DJ who's wanting to start off? Because you started off with keyboard and mouse, and so you don't necessarily need a deck to actually DJ. I think you probably agree with that as well, Spitfire?
Yeah.
So, like, what advice would you give it a new DJ or aspiring DJ?
Oh boy. I guess to not compare yourself to others, because that will like bring down your self-esteem a lot. That's at least what happens to me a lot. So don't do that, because that will destroy your mentality.
Very, very much
Yes.
so.
Mhm.
How about you, Spitfire? Any tips?
Honestly, just sort of experiment around the different genres and what type of styles that you want to play. Because realistically, there's like a bajillion different genres that you can play, and there's always going to be that one where it feels like home and it feels like you're going to have the most fun with. So just have fun with the set, honestly, when you're making it, and find a genre that kind of defines you in your own special way. And it's like what this said as well, is just don't compare yourself to other people, because it will definitely drag you down.
No, probably not.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'd say I'd amend that statement a little bit. Like for me, like compare yourself to someone else, but not as you versus them. Use them as kind of like a lighthouse. It's like, hey, this is what you could aspire to.
Oh yeah.
Wait for something else.
Yeah.
Or like if you see a DJ like who mixes your music and they like mix something really good, you compare yourself to them. Like, okay, they mix in that way, I mix in this way. Maybe I can either use that, or that's not a way I want to mix it. So comparing yourself against somebody can help, at least in my opinion.
Just don't do it in
Yeah.
like a negative way. So
Yes.
I'm thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
always do it
Yeah.
to build
it's-
yourself up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's always good to like look at them and see what they're doing, and see like what kind of like what type of energy that they've got going, so that you can sort of take inspiration from that, and you could
Germs.
evolve that kind of inspiration and make it truly your own. I think that's something that I think a lot of us do.
Very much so.
Like especially me, like I do that a lot.
Ate off this plate.
I do that a lot whenever I'm trying to build these DJ sets from the ground up.
Yep. No, honestly,
Uh.
No.
Okay, we need to go.
Uh.
We can go.
No, I wasn't gonna say anything.
Okay, no worries.
Sorry.
And honestly, that's a good segue over building sets of like, how do you plan out a set? I'm curious. I'll leave that open to whoever wants to.
You should be on VR much longer.
Okay, I guess I'll go first.
Yeah, I'll let you go first.
Okay, so how I plan out my sets. I usually just look up a whole bunch of songs on SoundCloud, and let SoundCloud recommend me a whole bunch of songs that are similar to the genre I want to play, and I'll put that all into a playlist, and I use the SoundCloud Go subscription to play out my songs on Serato. And then I'll plan it all out, put in cue points, I'll take out songs I don't think sound good together, and then after that I'll record it, and then I'll put it in Ableton, and then I'll actually put like little ear candy stuff here and there, and yeah.
Nice.
That's it.
All right. And how about yourself? Do you plan out sets?
What I wanna watch. Men in Black.
I think for me, so one of the most important parts of making like a DJ set is to kind of study what the crowd wants, and on top of that, if they have a specific theme going on, like say for example like what Virality has been doing, that is a very important part in and how my track selection goes, because I think if you stick to the theme of like what of which tracks have this, then I think that's gonna make something that's really impactful and something that I think that a lot of people would remember. But in on nights like these, when you're just playing for fun, honestly, I just go through my music library and I just find whatever I see fit to just kind of have a fun DJ set. And this one I actually had to look a bit deeper around like Beatport and Deezer and whatnot just to get some tracks to play. And yeah, that's pretty much how I make my DJ sets. I just sort of study up like what theme is, and then just to have fun with it.
Nice. And that actually leads me into my next question. Where do you currently get
Mhm.
tracks, and where do you suggest other DJs to get tracks when they're starting off? Because we know that this is not a cheap hobby.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. At least for me, I think Deezer would definitely be a best friend, because if you do pay a subscription there, you not only get access to streaming like truly lossless quality for the songs that they have on there, but you can also directly download lossless files on there if you have a subscription there, which is very, very helpful, because I don't have to go into Beatport and like buy every single track in Wave if I have to. I mean, obviously I have to convert them to Wave afterward, because loading FLACs in Tractor or possibly anything else is an absolute nightmare. So yeah, that's usually where I get most of my tracks from. And if some songs are free, like from SoundCloud or from a direct download, then I'll do that. And if a song is literally just a Beatport exclusive, then I will definitely go to Beatport to buy it.
Good choices. How about you, Trauma? Where do you?
I use SoundCloud for all of my music, because that's where I find the music I love. So I honestly, I'd recommend getting the SoundCloud Glow subscription. It's only like what, $5, $7 a month, something like that. And you get so many songs just doing that. You can just plug it straight into Serato, and it's just that easy. So
Yep. And to go along with the SoundCloud Go, you can also plug it into Rekordbox and Virtual DJ.
Yes.
Because I currently use it with Virtual DJ.
You're the number one choice.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, and honestly, like, you don't need to actually own the tracks to really start, DJing. Like,
It's not like I was gonna
SoundCloud Go, like what you said, about $4 or $5 a month,
Yeah.
which is like quite a bit. And then
And you can like, and you can also like find like a lot of mashups and remixes on a lot of songs too, from like a lot of unknown artists out there, which is a plus.
but also you can get Beatport Link as well, which helps you stream the tracks over.
Yeah, that is true.
Just if you have to, please try to avoid ripping stuff from like SoundCloud or YouTube.
This, especially this.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
Yes.
Wrong.
Like if
Yes, YouTube to MP3 convert, you can definitely hear the true quality of 64 kilobytes per second.
Yes. If you ever wanted to know what your stuff sounds like through a potato.
It's a salad.
Let's see. So, where do you want? Where do you see yourself? I want to see yourself in the next, year, 2 years.
Okay. I honestly, I don't know. I'm really focusing on producing more than my DJing, honestly, and I hope that my music can grow. That's like one of my biggest dreams, and I hope that I don't know. I also hope my DJ can also go well. I don't know. I don't really think this far.
I don't even know what I'm doing. Next week. Actually, wait, I already do know. I'm running this. Actually, no, wait. Next week. What day's today and what day is next Thursday? No, okay, next Thursday is the 14th. Okay, so there actually is no I.W.A.I.T for next week on Thursday. It's actually on Saturday. But I'll go into more details later. Little teaser for you. So this is actually a question I always ask DJs, and it's always fun. Actually, do you want to? I forgot. Do you want to answer the question of where you see yourself in the next, year or 2 years, months?
Yeah, sure, I could answer that. So, just like tonight, I think there are like a bunch of other genres that I do kind of want to explore. Like, mid tempo is one of them. I guess future bass, but I don't know.
Good choice. Good choice.
Psytrance has been one of the genres that I've been considering because that's sort of what I wanted to do originally, but it just never really came to light. So, I mean, anything can happen, but it might happen.
Yeah.
And I do sort of want to start getting into music production as well, because that's also been something that I've been eyeing for a long time. Like, I think only as of right now, I'm just sort of just editing tracks left and right, just to sort of have them fit into a DJ set. That's usually what I do for any DJ set. Actually, I just sort of get tracks together and just make some special edits. So I'm just hoping that sometime maybe in the future, music production could be a thing.
Yeah, that would be actually really cool. I would love to, have see you on a main record label.
Yeah, I think I have like a clear direction of what I want to do as well for the type of music I want to produce. So yeah, I think it could be fun.
Yeah, and also there's
but
one thing
expensive because I'll have to sell my soul.
But that's also one thing I love about i.W.A.I.T. I want to show that us DJs, we are a tight, close knit group. Like, if you have any questions about mid tempo, hit up Karuxa. He is your mid tempo god.
Yeah, I always enjoy Karuxa's sets, especially on the mid tempo stuff. It's very, very well done.
And then like my brain's like I can recognize the sets, but like there's a Psytrance DJ that's totally awesome, but my sleep addled brain isn't remembering who that person is. But yeah, just just talk to people. Like, honestly, if anybody out there wants to learn how to DJ or has some questions, grab any of us. I don't think a single one of us DJs would not take the time to talk with you, and at least get you sit down that path. And like, we're people too. We may have a big decks, a lot of music, some talent, but we're still human. And we also sometimes we got to be reminded that we're human. We're not the greatest thing, God's gift to music. The moment you start believing in that is the moment you're, at least in my opinion, you go down the toilet. Now, this is one question I always ask the DJs. It's always kind of fun. If you were to send a message back in time to when you were just starting on DJing, what message would you send? Like, I'll give you some time to think. Like, some DJs said they send back a message saying, just don't give up. You're doing fine. One of them said, ditch the girlfriend. She was, sandbagging your ass. Yeah. Another one was like, don't let the record store person who doesn't know anything about DJing talk you out of the CDJs. There wasn't something, better coming down the line for the next 2 years, and you wasted 2 years, of not, being able to DJ. So, like, what do you send back?
I guess let's see. I would say to myself that I shouldn't let anyone bring me down and demotivate me. And sorry, I'm like so nervous right now.
You're doing fine. You're doing perfectly fine. Take a deep breath.
You were doing great.
Inhale. And exhale. Yeah, okay, come on. Let's take a deep breath. Inhale. Inhale. Hold it. Hold it. Slowly exhale. Okay, we'll try that
okay.
later.
Yeah. I mean, one message I sent back, and I had another one, but I forgot. So.
No worries. But yeah, don't let other people get you down because.
Yes. Oh yeah, and also, don't be too shy, in front of people like I am now. Because honestly, if you're too shy, then I don't know. It hurts.
Yep.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Take a deep breath. Or at least don't forget to breathe. All right. Anyway, yours, Spitfire, what would you send back?
Start playing video games. Because honestly, okay, so that's literally how I started getting into EDM music, was literally through video games. And I think 2012 was definitely the point where I started getting into like a bit of like the music that I'm into now. So yes, video games, keep playing them, keep studying the music. Eventually, you will end up right here.
Nice.
Yeah, that's all that's all the advice I have to give.
Okay. Which game started you down the EDM path? I'm curious.
Okay, so there are two.
All
So,
right.
very first one, or actually, no, three. I'm sorry, three. The very first one was in 2012, Forza Horizon 1. That is the beginning of everything in there. Yes, see, even Bellin.
Which channel?
Yes,
Which channel?
so Forza
Or which radio station?
Bass Arena. Bass Arena is
Yes!
definitely the place to go. Yeah.
Bass Arena and Hospital
then,
Records.
Yes, those two. I love those two stations a lot. The second game, Asphalt 8. Play a lot of that. They have Asphalt 8. As crappy as the game is now, because of like how much they've done to the game, they have possibly the best soundtrack on a mobile racing game I've ever seen in my life. Like they have Deadmau5, they have Martin Garrix, they have the Crystal Method, they have shit, yeah. I can't list all of them, but those are the three off the top of my head. Very, very good music. And then the last game is a portrait mode game called Rolling Sky. It's like a puzzle kind of game, but they have some of the greatest OSTs that I have possibly ever heard, and each OST is different for each level.
Ooh.
So,
nice.
Yes, definitely check them out if you like.
Nice. Yeah, actually. So, since you brought up video games, I got to ask, which video game did you think has the best soundtrack?
I think Payday 2 has a really good soundtrack. All the music in that game is like all hype EDM bass house. So cool.
Nice. I'm on board with him, but Forza Horizon 4.
How? Okay, I will admit, Horizon 4 does have a very, very good drum and bass station. I will admit that. Bass Arena, not so much.
Yeah, well, Bass Arena is
I'm sort of biased.
It's more like the pop electro house. At least that's what I consider it being.
Like, I would consider like Horizon 1 and 2 to have possibly the best soundtracks out of the entire Horizon franchise. Those two games definitely had the best ones. Whoever was looking for music on every station back then, they know what they were doing. And I absolutely love those two games for it. Because I think the most important part of a game is to have a good soundtrack.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not going to be as memorable.
Yeah, and honestly, I think back then, music licensing rights and all that was probably a lot easier to put stuff into games and stuff.
That too, yeah. Licensing has changed since then.
Like, how many of us probably had a punk phase due to, or punk and slash ska phase due to, the Tony Hawk series?
Yeah.
Though, what you brought up before of like, you don't let other people bring you down. Flix actually wants me to ask this question. Flix, from Plurality Flix, Vibe Night, the the very adorable green dragon. If you see them, give them a hug. They deserve all the love and kindness. But he wants to know, like, how do you deal with haters? People who are just talking down, like saying you're mixing this crap, or you should have done this and should have done this, beat you down without trying to build you up. How do you deal with them?
I try my best to ignore it. I don't like to acknowledge it. That's it. I just ignore it.
Let's see. So in my case, oh, there goes my arm. But okay, so in my case, when it comes to people like criticizing that, there are some cases where I do kind of like take advice of that, and then I build upon it so that this is something that this person will like in the future. But at the same time, it's still something that I would enjoy playing as well. But if people are just going to be really, really rude about it, then I'll just say, okay, you know what, you can go.
Yeah.
I just started to tell them to just, okay, you can go now.
Yeah.
But for people who actually do like give feedback on saying, if they like this and if they didn't like that, like my buddy Pixie told me there was one Clarity remix I had and they didn't like it, so and then they told me I should experiment with this sort of more style, and that's sort of what I did for Aqua, was kind of just building upon that. And I think criticism can both be your best friend or sometimes your worst enemy as well, because after that, like if you take it too much, then you don't know what you'll be doing or you don't know what you want to do.
Yeah, like just learn to decipher like the intent behind it. If the criticism they're giving you is intent to just to tear down, to destroy, then ignore it. But if it ends up being they're wanting to point out your flaws so you can improve them, because like my mixing tonight wasn't 100%, and but I think I was trying to do like 3 things at once with 2 fingers, and it's a bit hard.
Yeah, like I don't know. Just tonight, I was just like, I don't know. I just like most of the tracks that I had in the set tonight were also just like, most of them were kind of like full length tracks, and it's not something that I would usually do, but I just wanted to have fun with it tonight. So I was just like in one of those nights where I'm like, I'm just gonna do this.
Yeah,
like I'm just here to have fun.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with track to track mixing. Like you can do drop to drop, you can switch drops, or you can just let a track play out and then just mix, because a lot of the extended mixes give you ample time to mix in and mix out slowly.
Yeah.
Though if you're DJing trance, they give you half the track to mix in and mix out.
True. It's very hard to mix in trance because there's not really a lot of, at least in my experience, I don't know how people do it, but there's just like sometimes there's no breakdowns, and even if there is, like there's not a lot of room to sort of transition into the next track. Like it's almost like you have to have the full track playing and then have it transition over. That's at least that's at least the struggles that I have with it.
Yeah, like I can't remember who's told me this, but when you're mixing, I think it was Strawberry, when you're playing trance and such, you want to have at least 2 tracks playing at all times. You have, you're mixed. You start off with the 1 track at the beginning, but in the middle you got to bring in your next track, and then when that one's ending up, you finally got to switch in and bring the 3rd track, and then this always bringing in 2 tracks, and you're always tweaking your knobs to, bring in the bass or in this track or the mills, and you're like making small mini tweaks so it flows. But
yeah,
I tried it. Not my style. I love track to track mixing. That's my thing.
Yeah, I kind of just go for like the more crazier kind of transitions in, like a bit weirder transitions. So yeah, trance is, I mean, as much as I would like to bring in like some of like the more classic kind of trance sounds ish, like I think there's still a lot of room for me to sort of learn about that too. Like I think there was only one song I did that at for i.W.A.I.T, and that was it. So yeah, there's definitely still a lot of room to try and explore.
Yep. And Kama, anything you want to add? You know, to like mixing or transitions. Just you have a distinct, like the genre you have leads to like a distinctive, hard mixing style.
Oh yeah. Honestly, it's not really much. Honestly, the way I mix, it's just it's I just like transition to like from the drop and then to another song's bridge or another build up, whatever I feel like needs to like whatever energy level I feel like needs to happen, and then yeah, that's really it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
All right. Anything else you want to leave with our adoring public?
Hello, how are you?
You'll eventually get over those nerves. Yeah, look at all the hearts you're getting.
Oh my gosh! Oh.
Yeah. Anything else that you want to add?
Tonight's been awesome. Keep staying awesome. This has been i.W.A.I.T.
Yep. Yes. Oh, one thing. Also, where can they follow you?
Yeah.
You have Twitter, Discord, Mixclouds. You know, if they want to listen to these banging sets again, where can they go listen to them?
I usually post them to Mixcloud, but I do have a SoundCloud, but I don't really post there because I could literally only post 4 of them there. So Mixcloud is usually where I will post sets.
All right. And what's your URL, or do they just look for the Spitfire the Wolf? Do they look for Spitfire DJ?
Spitfire the Wolf, the same name that's on here. That's usually where you'll find me.
Okay. About yourself, no?
Yeah, so it's the same for everything.
I post my mixes on Mixcloud, and the URL is for Mixcloud is trauma, but with like 5 A's, so it's kind of hard to find it.
So it's
but you can find it in my Discord. Yeah. So you can find it in my Discord along with my SoundCloud, and yeah.
Nice. All right. So as far as for i.W.A.I.T, I always post mine to my own Discord, Warn1, WARNE, the numeral 1, on Mixcloud. There will not be an i.W.A.I.T next Thursday, due to it being diverted to Saturday for a European-friendly event. This one's going to be more of I'm calling it i.W.A.I.T Swinging Funky Disco. We are bringing in 3 very awesome electro swing DJs, 1 new disco DJ, and a funky house funk DJ. The lineup will start at 2 p.m. Mountain Time, which I think is 1900 BST for all your European folks. The DJ lineup is going to be DJ Hollowpoint, Outer Space, Wolvie, Alfie, and closing for us is everybody's lovable blue forum experiment, Stitcheroo.
I had to.
Nope. I'm the host for this one. Which gives me a week off when you DJ every week for an hour, sometimes 5 hours. Actually, question: what is the most amount of time you DJed in 1 week? Just curious.
Okay. You're gonna
in sets. Like official events.
I think the most I've Honestly, I think it's just been an hour. Like the
Yeah,
longest
same.
mix I've ever done was just on my birthday, and that was just an hour and 1 minute.
Okay.
So I usually
Okay.
just tend to stick with that.
Okay, then I guess I'm the only crazy one. There was a week where I did an event on an hour event on Tuesday, a 2 hour event on Wednesday. I ran i.W.A.I.T on Thursday, needed there, and then I had a placeholder club 30 minute set.
Oh my gosh.
You are absolutely insane.
Luckily, I've gained enough sanity to never ever do that again. But
Yeah, I think that I would go insane too.
I think it went so insane that I went around and got a full, what is it? It's where the arrow where it starts going looping around.
Mhm.
But honestly, thank you again so much, Trauma, so much Spitfire. It was wonderful to have you. Uh-oh.
Yeah,
And I
it
think
was a
that
pleasure.
we may
It's
have
always
lost.
fun to perform.
Fun.
Looks like we may have lost the stream. Oops.
Oof.
At least I did.
Shh.
But I guess that's a good answer to close it until next week. We wait together. Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.